I find that most trainees find the general arithmetic questions the most straightforward part of the numeracy test. These involve applying normal arithmetic to school-based scenarios, such as school trips, test results, timetable planning, and budgets.
They do things like how many miles you go in a minibus, and if you lose one child, we like make the bus lighter or something like that. I can't remember, but it was like a bit abstract. But I can see that they do try to make it relevant to your practice.
I think one question was: there's 8 computers in a room. You have 45 minutes on in that room. You've got 25 pupils. How long do they get on a computer, or can they go in pairs, and how long will they have? So, I mean, things like that is useful, and it did kind of remind me of the maths that I will need to use.
The problem some trainees have is to work out what maths they need to use. So the first step is to carefully read the question and work out what it's actually asking. So let's look at a sample question, and the strategies we discuss here you may be able to use in other questions in the tests. So this question is about a teacher who plans a school trip. First of all, we read the question. A teacher plans a school trip to Brussels, which involves using a ferry from Ostend. The teacher wants to be in Ostend no later than 1800 hours. She expects their coach to travel from Brussels to Ostend, a distance of 120 kilometres at an average of 50 miles per hour. That's the information. Now, the question. Using the approximation of 5 miles equals 8 kilometres, what is the latest time the coach should leave Brussels? Give your answer using the 24-hour clock. How do we start? The first thing to realise is that we must do this question in stages. First of all, we have kilometres and miles. Which unit of measurement are we going to work in? Now, you might want to jot some things down then. Now, if we have 5 miles equals 8 kilometres, 5 miles per hour will be equal to 8 kilometres per hour. Or, in our case, the 50 miles per hour is equal to 80 kilometres per hour. So, we now know the speed in kilometres per hour. Then we can look at the distance. The distance is 120 kilometres. How long does it take to drive that distance? To do that, we divide the distance by the speed. That is 120 over 80. 120 over 80 is the same as 12 over 8. That's dividing the top and bottom by 10. And then, looking for a common factor, we have 4 goes into 12 3 times, 4 goes into 8 twice. So we have 3 over 2, and that equals 1.5. So it takes 1.5 hours to get from Brussels to Ostend. So that's the time. But what is the question asking? The question asks, what is the latest time we can leave Brussels? So we need an hour and a half to get from Brussels to Ostend, and we need to be in Ostend by 1800 hours. So we need to go back from 1800 hours by an hour and a half to work out the latest time we need to leave Brussels. So 1800 hours minus an hour and a half is going to be equal to 1630. That is the latest time we can leave Brussels in order to be in Ostend at the correct time. And then we put the answer in the answer box. Remember, if you put the answer as 4:30 p.m, you will not get the answer correct, because the question is asking you to give your answer using the 24-hour clock. So you must use the numbers 1630. Remember, in this section you can leave a question unfinished to go on to the next, and then go back to it later. So it's a good idea to allow about 2 minutes for each question, and then move on.